So this is a survey course about world economic history since the 19th century. It focuses primarily on advanced economies, although we'll be looking a little bit at emerging economies as well. And as this is a survey course, we'll be looking at all sorts of different topics. For example, the rise of the welfare state, the rise of inequality, and the rise of globalization, as well as its impact. So there's lots of very interesting things in this course, but I think one of the most exciting parts is probably the one on the impact of globalization in the late 19th century, because globalization is such a controversial topic. And nowadays with Brexit, you know, the different impacts of globalization are very much being debated. And you'll see that towards the end of the 19th century, well, the impact of globalization was also very controversial, and there were, of course, some winners as well as some losers. So I think it's very interesting, and the parallels between then and now are probably stronger than you think. So I think this whole survey course really helps you answer the question, how did we get here today, right? So for example, how did we get with such massive states, with such large amounts of debt and massive welfare states that are, on the one hand, very generous, on the other hand, perhaps not as generous as they could be? Another question you could ask is, for example, how come we've ended up with such high levels of inequality in the world today? How come inequality went down after the Second World War and then went back up from the 1980s onwards? So these are kinds of questions that I think we'll always keep in the back of our minds while going through the course.